I came in like a wrecking ball. Let's talk Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus just dropped her new album titled Plastic Hearts today, the day after Turkey Day. Or if you're like me, Steak Day. Look, I was on the Miley Cyrus wave ever since Hannah Montana. I act like y'all wasn't messing with. This is the best of both worlds. Nothing more than one down, and you rock at the show. Yeah, I still haven't learned the lyrics. It's been like 10 years. I actually never listened to a full Miley Cyrus project, but Plastic Hearts is her 7th studio album. Dang, it took me 7 albums. But nevertheless, I'm here to review it. If you're new to my channel, I do music reviews that consist of me breaking down an artist and their album. So if you're a music fan, go ahead and subscribe to see more music content. We at 500 subscribers, next up 1,000. Please help me get there. Oh, and do me a favor, smash that like button. Let's begin. So first and foremost, let's make sure everybody is on the same page. Who is Miley Cyrus? Miley Cyrus is a 28-year-old singer-songwriter and actress from Franklin, Tennessee. Now, if you don't know, she is the daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus, and she emerged as a teen idol portraying the character of Hannah Montana from 2006 all the way to 2011. I ain't gonna lie to you, it took me a while to realize that her name was actually not Hannah Montana. Am I the only one? Well, oh, I'm not? Oh, okay, cool. But as Hannah, she had a lot of success. 2 #1 and 3 top 10 soundtracks on the US Billboard 200. But as we all know by now, she rebranded herself as Miley Cyrus and the success just continued. #1 albums like Breakout in 2008, Bangers in 2013, top 5 releases like Younger Now in 2017, and She Is Coming in 2019. She also had top 10 singles like See You Again, Party in the USA, and Wrecking Ball, just to name 3 out of the many. Success continued, including the Times 100 list in 2008 and 2014, MTV's Best Artist in 2013, and is placed on the Billboard's all-time greatest artist list in 2019. The numbers don't lie. She mentioned some of her biggest inspirations are Elvis Presley, and artists like Madonna, Dolly Parton, and of course Britney Spears. Yeah, they had very similar experiences. But that's just in music. As an actor, she appeared in a lot of movies, not including her own movie, but movies like Boat in 2008, The Last Song in 2010. She appeared on The Voice for 2 seasons as a coach, and starred in one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Black Mirror, in 2019. Now, fun fact, and something that I bet y'all did not know, her actual original name was Destiny Hope Cyrus, but she changed it because her nickname was Smiley, which eventually got changed to Miley, because ultimately she smiled a lot. I mean, imagine if her name was Smiley. I mean, Miley just made sense. They ended up shortening it, and then she wanted to honor her grandfather, Ronald Ray Cyrus, so she decided to go with Miley Ray Cyrus in 2008. Now, enough about Miley Cyrus. Let's talk about Plastic Hearts. 15 songs. I'm seeing features from Dua Lipa, Billy Idol, and Stevie Nicks. So let's go ahead and get into it. What the F Do I Know has some heavy guitar and bass. There's a good mix of live electronic drums with a nice guitar solo. Off the bat, there's a nice rock vibe going on. And her voice itself has a very raspy tone. It's a catchy track, but altogether, I really wasn't a huge fan of this track. Now, Plastic Hearts continues that raspy sound in her voice. There's still that good bass and guitar, but there's also an addition of bongos, which kind of leads the track. There's also a continuation with a nice, beautiful guitar solo. And the song itself is a reference to the Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil, which suits her rock era with a lot of 80s rock and roll influences. Now, though the track is very heavily rock influenced, she really showcased how melodic she can be as well. It's a pretty good track. Now, Angels Like You, she went country. She kind of put her hearts out on the track, saying things like, "You gonna wish we never met on the day I leave. It's not your fault." And saying things like, "You're the one for me, but at the same time knowing that you're wrong for me." Being that her tracks are usually unapologetic and shameless, I respect her for switching it up on this track. It's a nice ballad. Now, Prisoner was released prior to the album. It referenced Olivia Newton-John's 1981's Physical track. And it talks about being in a abusive, controlling relationship, where one person in the relationships actually manipulates the other person to stay in a relationship, making them feel like a prisoner. It's catchy, it's a nice single, well written, it's very simple production. Now, Gimme What I Want brings that heavy 80s rock and pop mix going on with the production. I love it, especially with the synth bass lead in the track. The song talks about the choice that she gives someone else to be her lover, but they don't want it. So she says things like she's alright being by herself. The production is nice and it gives heavy Prince vibes towards the end, especially with the guitar riff. The song also sounds similar to Nine Inch Nails' single Closer. Nightcrawler in this song is alright. There's a lot of electronic and 80s sounds in this track. It got me feeling like I'm watching Back to the Future. Not a huge fan of the hook, but I mean, it's catchy. Midnight Sky gives that disco pop vibe. And it talks about her free spirit and addresses her past relationships. It actually samples Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Not a bad song, catchy, and it was also released before the album. Now, High has heavy country vibes with nice harmonies on this track. Well done, nicely written, very emotional. Says things like goodbye, I don't miss you, but I still think about you and I don't know why. I still feel high. One of my favorite tracks, and this definitely adds to the playlist for sure. Now, Hate Me serves as a response to the negative criticism that she received on a day-to-day basis. She talks about how the media and the press will be ultimately positive if she died, or rather become more positive when she died. It's very consistent with the production, bass-driven with an addition of piano, and I think I hear some organ in the background. Well done. Now, Bad Karma talks about cheating on a lover and not caring about the consequences even though she knows it's wrong. I don't agree with the messages here, but it's still a solid track. Heavy rock and blues feels, and it's heavily drum driven. Simple but catchy. In all honesty, it fits her brain. Never Be Me is a Eddie's track. Someone mentioned that it sounds like what Eyes Without a Faith and Woman in Chains melodies would sound like if they had a child. Now, after this song and Bad Karma, I honestly would not date her. I mean, if you mention for faith, that's not for her. Well, I'm out. Now, Golden G-String was actually written back in 2017, 2018. It's reflective to Donald Trump as president and how men hold the card, but also determine your fate. Well written, though I'm not a huge fan of the production here. It's kind of grungy with some of the melodies used. And then Edge of the Midnight, you gotta respect this song. Stevie Nicks is a legend in herself. Well produced, and it's a very nicely done remix. I love how it's a mix of Midnight Sky and Nick's 1982 Edge of 17. And then we have two live tracks. I love because one is nothing but live instrumentation. And there's also loud drums and heavy rock vibes. Heart of Glass is also a cover of a 1979 hit originally by Blondie. And she also bodied the Zombie track as well. But altogether, I thought it was a okay album. One thing that I did love about it is it did reference a lot of really that rock style. A lot of rock songs that was sampled, a lot of classic songs that were sampled. And then she also brought in a lot of legendary people as well, like Stevie Nicks. High respect for it. I mean, for the first time listening to her project, I thought it was well done, well put together. Now, when it comes to the length of the project, I thought it could have been shorter, but that's just due to me not really listening to her music pretty often. I would keep a good chunk of the tracks. I'll probably take out maybe 3 or 4 of the tracks. But other than that, not too bad. My favorite tracks was definitely the loud tracks, but also Hate Me, Angels Like You, and Plastic Hearts. My least favorite track is hands down Nightcrawling. I just didn't enjoy the hook, or really the message of the song. So if I had to rate the album for production, I'd give it a 7. It was okay. I didn't think it was extremely special. A lot of it was very more so simple, but I did enjoy how there was a lot of influences of different genres, especially those like rock and the retro sounds that I heard as well. From a vocalism standpoint, I love it. I gave it an 8. I love the raspy voice. I love her melodies that she included. And it really just fit who she was and who she is. Songwriting, I give it an 8. I thought it was very well written. And then overall, I feel like I gave it a 7. I enjoyed a good amount of tracks, but there are a lot of tracks that I probably wouldn't listen to again. I was still shaking my head, and it definitely was reminiscent to a lot of songs that I've heard previously. So it wasn't that bad. So altogether, if you add everything up and you divide by 4, you get a 7.5 out of 10. I think y'all should listen to it, and y'all should let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. So there you have it. That's how I felt about the project. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a thumbs up on this video, subscribe, and remember, your only limitations are those in your own mind. Stevie TV out.
I came in like a wrecking ball.